Hello, my name is Kreepeetz, but you guys can call me Peetz. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. And this is my review of the new Guillermo Del Toro Frankenstein 2025. Moving on! Spoiler-free zone is done. Start the movie in a scene that Victor is running from the monster in a very, very cold environment, full of ice. Some stuff is a little bit different from the book, but a bunch of sailors find him. He's taken aboard. The monster comes after him, attacks the crew and the ship, and they were able to shoot the monster 4 times with an amazing blunderbuss, which I wasn't expecting to see in this movie. And they sink the monster into the deep waters of the almost North Pole, because that's where the ship was heading to. Victor is taken to the captain's cabin, and so it starts the movie. That's the key moment where Victor starts to tell the story by saying, "You gotta leave me out there, right? You gotta leave me out there." So because the monster is just gonna stop when he kills me. So if you're not familiar with the story at all, you just get what is happening? Because we saw the monster already. We saw Victor. What start of the movie is this? How can we start the movie like this? And it settles the mood very, very quickly. And you just get okay, this is a lot of action. The first scene is amazing. The monster got shot 8 times and it didn't even flinch. So you just at the start of the movie, you already know that the monster is incredibly strong and has anger. That's what you get from the start. So you already expect that, right? And then you go back to when Victor was a child, which is a very, very, very interesting moment and very key moment. In my opinion, this is the most colorful and natural colored part of the movie. So Victor is there with his mother, and it shows that they are very, 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 very strong. They have a very, very strong connection. His mother is always wearing red, which I don't know if it's to represent lust or some kind of love. It's stated that his father married her because of money. So Victor and her were always despised by the father figure. You already know that Victor has something going on with his father figure, right? And a strong connection with his mother. And this is very, very important for the character build up. This whole father relationship and mother relationship is gonna shine throughout the whole movie. Victor is gonna be wearing a red tie almost every time, which is his mother color. So he's gonna be wearing black and the red tie. It's stated that his father was the best doctor of that age and that area, and he's teaching Victor how to be a doctor as well, which is a very, very, very triggering part, because he's teaching Victor in a very old-fashioned way. So every time that Victor got something wrong, he smacks Victor with the cane. Instead of smacking his hands, which was customary in the story before, he says no, not your hands this time. This time, I'm gonna hit your face, because your hands are too for your work, because vanity is not required. You see that the man is shaping Victor. It's almost like Victor is a project just to keep the name Frankenstein going. In this whole timeline, Christian Convery, who plays young Victor, does an excellent job. He's able to show joy, and on moments that are required, he's able to show that he's holding himself and holding some anger and holding some kind of bad feelings, right? His mother was pregnant and ends up dying while giving birth to his brother William, who is going to be played by Felix Kimmerer. After his mother's death, the funeral, I gotta say, that coffin, guys, oh my god, the design of the coffin was so good. And I don't know who was the genius behind the selection of the coffin that has a lot of history knowledge, because I wasn't aware of this. I have learned this today on Threads. But those coffins existed, and they were called Fisk coffins. An airtight cast iron coffin invented in 1848 by Almond Dunbar Fisk to preserve bodies and protect against grave robbers. These metallic burial cases were expensive, custom molded to the body, and featured an oval glass window so the face of the deceased could be viewed without opening the case. They're popular with the wealthy and are also used to transport bodies over long distance of quarantine victims of contagious diseases. It's just bro, I've learned history while watching a movie, right? It's so magnificent. It's so pretty, it's so gothic, like the design and everything is just so much. Victor gets suspicious, and after a while, Victor asks his father, like, you let mother die, didn't you? His father goes like, there are things that not even the best doctor can fight. Death is one of them. Something like that. And that's the key moment when Victor decides that he's gonna fight death. That one moment defines his whole life, because it's gonna be the matter of study of his whole life. Then it cuts to 1855, where Victor is presenting his knowledge to the doctors, where he was part, the academy, where he was part of that. It's the first moment where you see something gore and you realize that the movie is going to be like, we're going to see organs and corpses and things like that, which is to be expected from Frankenstein, right? I was about to say Rammstein. It's also when they show Harlan for the first time. Harlander is actually the uncle of Elizabeth, which is to be married with William. When they get to Victor's apartment, you see a very, very, very interesting scenario design, because it shows that it's so clustered in knowledge and it's all about work. So they have a conversation. Victor ends up like meeting with the Harlander in Harlander's home. It's shown like something about the lymphatic system, and that's when they realize that it could be what would store the energy to keep the resurrected alive, because so far Victor knew how to use energy to keep bodies alive for a short amount of period. And from Victor's apartment to this point, there are like several scenes. It shows like life, bloody streets. It shows like women crossing muddy streets on planks. So like everything that is happening on the background has a little bit of meaning, and it puts you more into that universe, which for me nowadays is a very rare thing, because more and more we are having content that is supposed to be a second screen, right? Like people are watching the movie and just going with their own phone and just like swiping on Tinder or whatever they're doing, and they just come back to the movie. In this movie, if you do that, you miss a lot, because there's so many details after the whole lymphatic system thing, and they agree to work together. It's the first time where Victor sees Elizabeth. There's no way that you're not gonna immediately fall in love with Elizabeth. Her first take, so we're facing her back, so you can't see her face, and she's holding a skull, admiring the skull. So that's one of the most gothic, romantic gothic. I was in love. I was like, oh my god, let me get into this movie. Let me try to marry her. That is exactly what happens to Victor. Like you can see in his face that he's mesmerized by her. Like he gets like, she's a lady that is actually appreciating that. You see that he's interested in her in that moment already. And may I remind you, she is his brother's fiancé. During a meal after that scene, Victor gets even more interested in her when she laughs at his theories, and they have a little clashing and discussion of ideas. And in that moment, it really shows how intelligent, bold, and strong-minded Elizabeth is. Right after that, you have the first take of the tower, which is gonna be where everything and the experiments are gonna take place, and the tower is just huge, which remind me of the first versions of Frankenstein. So this is like a way that Guillermo Del Toro actually like paid like kind of like a respect to the classic movies. And then it cuts to a scene that which is supposed to be Edinburgh, where people are being hanged, and that's when they get like the first bodies, right? So when Victor is still deciding how to apply the new knowledge, they are getting bodies from the hanged people. In that moment, it cuts to Victor stalking Elizabeth a little bit, because he saw her in the middle of the crowd. She had like a red umbrella. They meet in the church. They try to pass as a confession priest, and she goes to confess, and they have like a little flirting, teasing. After that, they have a date together, which would be a dinner, but it's more of like a date. I think that is represented as a date because they dance and they keep like the teasing, which words. It's clear that they have like interest in each other. On the next day, they go to a garden, and it's one of the most colorful, saturated scenes. Really seems that that's the happiest moment of the whole movie. Whereas William in this moment, his brother is taking care of like making everything for the experiment, like making the machinery. In this moment, Elizabeth and Victor are chasing like butterflies. They trap one butterfly, which in my opinion, it's representing Elizabeth. That means that she trapped herself with the marriage, and in fact, she wanted to be free and be with Victor, or be with whatever, be chasing her dreams. And because that butterfly would be used later when they kind of like drift. There's like some little moments where William shows what is being made, and Victor doesn't give like any credit to his brother. They have like still like a little bit of like rivalry from the old days. And after that, Harlander sets like a deadline. We gotta know that the 9th configuration, how they called, is working. And the 9th configuration is interesting because I was researching about what is the 9th configuration. I was like, is that a known thing? And apparently it is a movie. So I don't know if Guillermo Del Toro was actually doing a reference. I still need to watch the movie. I'm gonna watch that to know if there's any connection, because that's what they had to discover before they tried the experiment, right? So he had like a bunch of corpses that he was like testing to see if he was able to transmit energy through the right place. And where was the right place, you know? He has a deadline now. So he grows in despair. It cuts to his apartment. He's like going crazy. He's like, I don't know what to do anymore. Elizabeth visits him, gets fascinated by the corpse on the desk, and he goes like, oh my God, the symmetry of God is just so beautiful. She is wearing black and red for the first time in the movie. So she's wearing his colors. She delivers the butterfly to him and says like, I made a decision. Which for me represents that she's delivering the butterfly to him like, okay, we did this. I am actually trapped. I cannot go anywhere. I am marrying your brother. That's my decision. And we're not going to have anything anymore. And she runs away. It is very interesting to see how the only thing that she left behind was red. His color related to his mother. Therefore, maybe being love. Right after that, because she mentioned symmetry, Victor has like an eureka moment and he goes like, ah, the symmetry. He's able to find where to put the needles on the back. And that cuts to a war field, which is where they are getting the bodies to make the monster. Victor states that he wants long and larger limbs because he's easier to work. Why is the monster big? Larger limbs, easier to work. They get back to the tower and his waltz start playing while he starts assembling everything and stitching and getting like bones inside of muscles. He tears everything apart. It's just all so gore. And you have this waltz going like super happy, and every scene that is happening is gore. It's like sawing a bone, sawing legs, breaking limbs, sawing face, putting eye, removing an eye. I don't know. There's so many gore things happening there, and it's just so conflicting, but it's genius. It shows the amount of bodies and pieces of bodies just laying around in the laboratory. And that shows of how many people the monster is made of. Right after that, Harlander exposes how vulnerable he is because he actually has syphilis and he's dying, and then he wants to be put inside of the monster. They have a fight. He dies because he falls into the pit. Storm approaches, brings energy to the monster, so it doesn't come to life, no heartbeat or anything like that. And then it cuts to Victor sleeping in the monster. That's where the first time of geniuses of Jacob as the monster appears, because the monster is just like looking at Victor sleeping like a baby that can walk, but barely knows how to move. He's curious, he's not understanding anything. It's not evil, it's not good, it's pure. And the first thing that he says, that he learns how to say, is Victor. And then it cuts like showing the muscular development of the creature. Victor grows impatient of the monster, and that shows how he's repeating his father behavior, because he's expecting the creature to go intelligent. It's also a key moment because the creature cuts itself and Victor realizes how fast the creature can heal, and he starts to get a little scared. This is unnatural. These are words that he says after accomplishing. He doesn't feel accomplished. So like all his life, he was chasing something. And when he finally achieved, it felt unnatural. It felt wrong. Sends William and Elizabeth away, sets everything on fire, explodes the tower. And the explosion, when the explosion happens, is when he decided to enter the tower again, because he regrets. He was taken by regret at the last minute, because he was doing things impulsively. It cuts to Elizabeth in a chariot, and then they go back and they rescue Victor with a severed leg. And this whole long part was Victor's tale. It cuts to the present day, where the monster enters the cabin. The creature is very eloquent on this moment. It knows how to speak. So you have a different view of that. It's not a creature that says Victor, Victor, Victor anymore. So my creator told you his tale. I guess I'm gonna tell you mine now. It changes to the second third of the movie, which is the monster's tale. That starts while the tower is exploding and he has to free himself. His first contact with the open world, with the wild world, was with the deer. And it's very sweet because he's like a naive creature. He's a pure creature, and he sees no evil in the deer. The deer sees no evil at him because he doesn't threaten the deer at all. But some humans see him and show him violence. That's the first thing that the world gave to him. And it's a very, very key moment for me because I feel that any kind of like misfit or alternative person has felt what the monster feels in that moment. That we're just trying to live our lives and we're different, and then we receive like with violence or judgment. Cuts to a cottage part, and that cottage part is a really, 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 really strong part in the book. It's a very slow part in the book, but it's a very, very meaningful part because it's where the creature discovers the world and people, and that is not only violence out there, and that there is violence and there's gonna be violence. He realizes that the world is kind of different. But there is one guy, and there's a key character in the book and in the movie as well. It's the blind guy in the cottage. The creature is like, I thought about many ways of going and presenting myself to the old guy, and I did not know how. So he just did it. He throws himself into the cabin. He enters the cabin, and the old guy was like, who comes here? And they have like a very touching moment where the old guy is like, you're my friend. The old guy starts teaching him how to read and how to read books and teaching everything about the world. They create a very, very strong bond. The last book that the old guy tells the monster to read is Paradise Lost, which is a very, very, very fine touch there because it's a poem about questioning God, questioning life, questioning a bunch of stuff. Also correct me if I'm wrong. One thing that the old man teaches is forgive. Forgive your past, forgive who did you wrong, forgive your anger. And he's like, I can't forgive what I don't know. I just remember one word, which is Victor. The other guy tells him to go chase that, and he goes back to the tower where he finds some papers of the study, realizes what he is, and he finds a little letter, so he knows where to find his creator. He comes back to the cottage. There are wolves attacking everyone. The wolves kill the old man. The family arrives at that one moment, shoots the creature, thinking that the creature killed the old man. And that's the first time that the creature dies. But he woke up again, and there is a very, very strong monologue of the creature going like, my creator denied me the one thing that is common to every being, death. William and Elizabeth wedding. Victor wakes up in bed. Like, he had like a long period of fever. He wakes up there. The creature goes there as well, confronts him and asks for a companion. You're gonna make me a companion so I won't be lonely, which is a thing that happens in the book in a different way, little bit of different way happens in the book, but it's there as well. Victor then says that the creature is obscene, and that's when I heard one of the most beautiful sentences of the whole movie, and it's definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite from the movie, is when the creature goes and says like, I am obscene to you. To me, I simply am. Oh my god, that is every misfit against society judging, right? That is like, oh my god, that hurts. Victor ends up denying him of a companion, and that's when the creature decides to rage. And it's raging in such a poetic way. Like, his words are poetic, are eloquent. It's not like a rage, like, yeah, I'm going to like put... It's not like a brute rage. It is brutal, but at the same time, it is eloquent. It's like full of intelligence. He starts like to toss Victor around. That generates a lot of noise. That's when Elizabeth decides to go to Victor's room because she heard and she knows she imagined what's happening. She gets very moved by the creature and jumps in front of the creature to protect the creature. When Victor decided to shoot, Victor ends up shooting Elizabeth. In that moment, everyone from the wedding arrives in the room. Everyone starts attacking the creature. Creature attacks everyone, ends up like killing William, hugs Elizabeth, and Elizabeth's like, please take me with you. Then they leave. And then you have Elizabeth and the monster in a cave. They have a dialogue that she says that she doesn't belong to this world. It makes so much sense that she is with the creature, right? Because she was all into insects, where women were like expected to just be pretty and behave and obey. And she was like, I'm into insects. I want to talk back. I like oddities, you know? She says it's going to become Victor's master. It's so intense. Like, Victor gave life, and now Victor is becoming controlled by that. It's kind of similar with what Victor tried to do with his father by like challenging him and saying like, I'm gonna conquer death So you see the story repeating there. There's a lot of father and son relationship in this movie. It's like Victor's father with Victor and Victor with the creature. So it's like a double layer of that. The creature leaves and Victor starts his eternal hunt for the creature. It's when we get to the start of the movie where Victor explodes a dynamite into the creature's chest, and that's when it's like you feel like the creature is literally unstoppable. And it's a very, very intense moment because even though I was like, the dynamite to the chest, that would cause a lot of damage, basically explode the whole body, like nothing would be there. But I swallowed the poetic license of that because what comes next, because the creature goes like, I could feel every crack of my bones gluing together. I could feel every piece of my tissue regenerating. It was very painful, but I wouldn't die. And then it cuts to the ending part of the movie, which is the three of them, the captain, Victor, and the creature in the cabin. Because the creature told his part of the tale. That's a moment where they get like their eternal fight, because it was always like the creature against the creator against the creature, and then, you know, it stops because Victor finally gets humble. And it's a very sweet moment because Victor holds the creature's hand and says, I am sorry. To everyone that had like any problems with the parental figure, when you see that moment, it's hard for you to not put your parental figure there. It's a very, very strong moment. It's a very, very strong moment. They let the rage aside and they start to have like a dialogue. The creature is very, very poetic and embracing, ends up like forgiving Victor, and the Victor goes like to say something that is really, really, really impactful, and it's like, why are you alive? Because the creature cannot die. Like, one of the complaints of the creature is like, I cannot die, I have to leave, I have to leave. So Victor goes like, while you are alive, what recourse you have but to leave? And this is a very, 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 very sweet sentence. Like, I love this sentence so much because we all can use that sentence on our daily lives. Like, we're facing issues, facing problems. We have to leave. We have to keep going. Victor ends up like fading, cuts to the creature leaving the boat. And the last take is the creature embracing the sun, which is the warmth, which is life. After like analyzing the movie as a piece, as a whole piece, it feels that the whole team was working together and in a very synchronized mindset. You don't see conflicts between areas of the movie, right? Like, you don't see conflicts between creative and reality, history, or like soundtrack or acting. Like, everyone that was in this movie did their job perfectly. But yeah, that was my review of it. I'm pretty sure that I forgot several things that I wanted to say and that I thought while watching the movie, and I'm gonna probably remember when watching the movie again. I hope my review was pleasant to you guys to watch, and then like you guys at least like discover something new from the movie. I made you guys like reflect. I want to know from you that watched the movie already. What do you think? What kind of takes did you get from the movie? If there's anything that you would like to add? And if you haven't watched the movie and you made this far into the review, what are you expecting? Are you excited to watch that now? Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys click with my vibe, consider liking, subscribing, dropping a comment. It really helps the channel to keep going. I also stream on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, alright? If you like this shirt, you can use my code for 20% off on Punkrave. Hope to see you guys on the next video. Last but not least, don't forget to drink your coffee and catch your light everywhere you go. Bye.